I'll just recap what we had done last week. We had started with the animal tissues. Okay, so there are four types: epithelial, connective, muscular, and the neural tissue. We had finished with the epithelial tissue, right? And these are the types of epithelial tissue: squamous, stratified, cuboidal, and columnar. We covered all this. Then we moved on to the connective tissue, right? There are three types: connective tissue proper, the supportive tissue, and the fluid tissue. Out of these three tissues, students, we had finished with um, the areolar and the adipose, and we were on the fibrous tissue. This is where our time ended. So just to recap, the connective tissue, the areolar tissue, students, what is it? It maintains the elasticity of the skin. The adipose tissue, what does it do? It forms a padding under the skin, and it is because of this we can retain the heat inside our body. Now we come to the next tissue under connective tissue proper, which is called as fibrous connective tissue. Now students, fibrous connective tissue, as the name suggests, it is formed of elongated cells called as fibers. Yes, and the very two important tissues which are under the fibrous connective tissue is, first is the tendon, and the second is the ligament. Now children, we have heard about tendons and ligaments. Tendons, what do they do? They connect the muscle to the bone, and ligaments, what do they do? They connect the bone to the bone. Okay, so all these, both of these tissues, they form a part of the fibrous connective tissue, right? Now children, we move on to the another tissue, which is supportive connective tissue. There are two tissues under this. The first is the cartilage and the other is the bone. Now children, I don't see annotate with icon here, so I'll just show it to you on the screen. The first picture, which is in blue, that is a cartilage tissue, and the other tissue which you see, it's, can you see, it's highly porous, students. The number of pores that you can see here. Okay, this is how a bone tissue looks like, right? So it's very obvious, students, when you see at both these diagrams or both these pictures, the cartilage tissue, it is a non-porous tissue. What do you mean by non-porous? That means there are no pores like this. As compared to a bone, it is non-porous. There are no pores. However, it contains a thick intercellular substance which is called as matrix. Very important thing, there are no blood vessels or nerves which are there in the cartilage. It is semi-transparent and elastic. Now, where it is present? It is, Jyoti, 1 minute. I will unmute you at the end and then you can ask me the questions. Okay? Okay. The location here is the tip of the nose. Here, the external ears, the trachea, the bronchial tubes between the vertebrae and the end of the long bones. Now students, this you need to remember. What is the location of the cartilage? Cartilage is present only in these areas, right? Now, about the bone. The bone is a highly porous tissue. We say bone is so thick. How can a bone be a tissue? Children, it is a tissue. Tanay, even I will unmute all of you in the end. You can ask me questions later. Children, bone is actually a tissue and it is hard. Why is it hard? Because it consists of rigid mass of inorganic salts. And children, what are those salts? Those salts are calcium. Bone, most of the material of the bone is made up of calcium, and it is because of this the bones are very hard, they are very thick. Okay, so this is the basic difference between a cartilage and a bone. But children, don't think that bone is not a tissue. Bone is a tissue. The only thing is it is made up of inorganic salts which give it the which will give the bone its hardness. Okay, and a bone has good supply of blood vessels and nerves. We move on now to the next kind of tissue, which is called as fluid connective tissue. Now students, as the name suggests, fluid, that means this connective tissue has to be fluid in nature. It has to be watery in nature, right? So which are the two elements which are, in the state of constant movement inside our body, it is the blood and it is the lymph. So blood and the lymph, they form the fluid connective tissue which connects all the organs together, and these are important, first of all, to supply oxygen to the cells, to supply nutrients to the cells, and to help fight the organisms or the bacteria which enter inside the body. How they do it, we are going to see it in the next slide. Now, blood. Blood, what are the constituents of blood, children? Blood is composed of a liquid part which is called as plasma. That means, what are the constituents of blood, children? It is made up of plasma. It is made up of cellular parts, which is RBC, WBC, and platelets. Now, students, coming to the function of each and everything, plasma is a liquid in which all these cellular components are suspended, right? Now, apart from this, the plasma will also have inorganic salts. It will also have nutrients. What is RBC? RBC, WBC, and platelets, all of them are suspended in the plasma. The function of RBC is it gives a red color. Why it gives a red color? Because the RBCs, they contain hemoglobin, right? Hemoglobin is the part which attracts oxygen. And when it attracts oxygen, it is only the RBCs which can deliver oxygen to each and every cell of the body. Next, we come to the WBCs. The WBC, students, are made up of different kinds of cells, and all these cells, they help to give immunity and they help in fighting the infection. And the platelets, they are called as the blood clotting factors. What do? They help in the clotting of the blood. Whenever there is a cut on your hand or on your leg, it gets healed. Why does it get healed? Because of the platelets, they immediately rush to the portion where there is a cut and they seal off that portion there. And this is how the blood stops oozing out from the cut. Okay. Now we come to lymph. Now, children, what do you mean by a lymph? Now, students, we all know about a circulatory system, right? A circulatory system consists of the heart and the blood vessels. But then what is a lymph? Lymph, as compared to a circulatory system, even a lymph is made up of, it has its own lymphatic system. Now, what happens is, students, the blood, it forms small capillaries, right? Now, from these capillaries, the blood, when it is in the arteries, it is under a lot of pressure. When it is under a lot of pressure, from that pressure, it comes into the capillaries. Now, students, the walls of the capillaries, they have certain pores in those capillaries. From those capillaries, plasma oozes out. Okay. RBCs cannot come out because the holes are not that big for the RBCs to come out. But plasma comes out of those capillaries. So I have written it here. What is a lymph? It is the plasma that oozes out of the blood vessels. Why does it ooze out, students? Because the blood is under a lot of pressure. Okay. Now this plasma which oozes out of the capillaries, it is taken up by another vessels which are called as lymphatic vessels, and it again goes into the circulation. Okay. Where does it go into the circulation? It will join the veins and then it will go back to the circulation. That means, students, the difference between a circulatory system and a lymphatic system is that a circulatory system, it can, it is throughout the body. It is bidirectional, but the lymphatic system is only unidirectional. I know two participants have raised their hands. In the end, I will unmute you. You can ask me your questions. Okay. So what happens, students, when the plasma oozes out of the capillaries, it is taken up by those lymphatic vessels and it goes back into the circulation. Because if plasma, it surrounds the tissues, there is too much of lymph, there is too much of plasma around the tissues, that particular organ or that particular cell starts swelling up, which is not, and if it swells up, it will make you sick. So what do we have to do in this case? In this case, the lymphatic systems come into place and they will take up those plasma and they will again get it back into the circulation. So this is the difference between a lymphatic system and a circulatory system. Now, as compared to a circulatory system, students, the lymphatic system, it contains only WBCs, right? It does not have the RBCs, it will not have the platelets, but it has only the WBCs. And since it has the WBCs, like the WBCs in the blood, which helps in fighting the infection, even the WBCs which are present in the lymph, they will help in fighting infection. That means both are concerned with transportation and, most important, immunity. They will help you to keep your immunity in check, right? They will. Now, students, I'll just give you an example. Suppose you're suffering from some infection. The first thing, or you're suffering from a sore throat, you're suffering from cold or cough. The first thing that happens is your tonsils get swollen up. Why is it so? Because the tonsils, the spleen, the adenoids, they all are part of your lymphatic system. And when they get swollen up, that means what is happening, students? There are a lot of WBCs which are getting accumulated in those vessels, in the tonsils, which are helping fighting the infection. Okay, and this is the reason why your tonsils are swollen. The doctors will check it here. Even here near the face area, there are a lot of lymph nodes. They are the lymphatic vessels. When they are swollen, that means it is an indication that yes, your immunity is in place. It is helping in fighting infection. Why it is helping in fighting infection? Because a lot of WBCs are gathered in that particular lymphatic vessels. Students, I'll address all your queries at the end. Okay. And after the fluid connective tissue, which consists of the blood and the lymph, we come to the next tissue, which is the muscular tissue. That means, students, again we recap. Animal tissues, we are finished with the epithelial tissue, we are finished with the connective tissue. Now we move on to the muscular tissue. Okay. Now, students, the muscular tissue, they are very easy, not as complicated as the earlier epithelial and connective tissues. Now, the types of muscular tissues. There are three types. First is the smooth muscular tissue, smooth muscle cells, the striated muscle cells, and the cardiac muscle cells. Now, we are going to learn each and everything in detail. Now, we come to the striated muscles, students. They are also called as the skeletal muscles or the striped muscles or the voluntary muscles. Yes, students, I will unmute all of you and I will address your queries. Okay, I'm seeing that 5 participants have raised their hands. Now, children's striated muscles, they are under the control of your own will. Okay, example, muscles of the arm move only when you want them to move. That means, see, I am waving my hand, I'm saying a hi. That means I want to say a hi, only then my, these muscles will move. If I feel that I don't want to move, my muscles will not move. That means I am controlling those muscles. And it's because of that they are called as voluntary. That means it is under my control, right? So the things which are under my control are the muscles of the arms, the muscles of the legs, the muscles of the body, the entire body, your face and your neck. I can move my neck, I can smile, I can cry. That means all these muscles are under my control. That's the reason it is called as voluntary muscles. Okay. Now they constitute 50% of your body weight. That means if your body weight is like 45, that means half of it is because of the muscles here, is because of the skeletal muscles. Okay. Now, children, how are they? How are these muscles? Can you see this? These muscles are elongated. They are not branched. Okay. However, you can see the small stripes. That means they are striped and they are elongated. Now, we see this. The unstriated muscles. How do they look? The unstriated muscle, students, they are also called as smooth muscles, or they are unstriped, or they are involuntary. Now, why do we say that they are involuntary? because it is not under our control. Now, the muscles of the intestine. You eat something. There are muscles of the intestine, you know, the food is getting digested. The food, there is a lot of movement inside the intestine. The unwanted, the undigested food is getting excreted out of your body. Do you think it is under your own will? No, it's not under your own will, because you can't order your intestine or you can't order your stomach. Stop digesting. Stop absorbing the nutrition. You can't do it. It is an involuntary process. It will go on even if you don't wish that it should go inside. It should go on into your body. Okay. And it's because of this, it is called as involuntary. That means it is not under the control of your own will. For example is movement of the food in the intestine is by contraction of the unstriated muscles. Okay. Now, where is it located? It is located in the muscles of the iris, muscles found in the lining of the blood vessels, right? Because the blood vessels, the blood is flowing under a lot of pressure. How does it flow? Because of these unstriated muscles, the muscles of the urinary bladder and the muscles of the uterus. Okay, so this is the location. Now, students, can you see this? How does it look like? It looks like, children, I will unmute you, then you can ask me your queries, okay? Now, students, these are elongated and they look like spindles. Each cell or each cell has one nucleus. That means it is anucleated. It is made up of one nucleus. However, as compared to this, there are many nuclei in one tissue, in one cell. In this, each cell has only one nucleus. That means it is anucleated. Okay. Next, the last one, we come to the cardiac muscles. Even this is involuntary muscles. Okay. Now, why this is involuntary? You all know the heart goes on, it pumps blood, it is working day in and day out. You sleep, but the heart does not sleep. The heart will sleep only when it dies, only when a person dies. Okay. So it is involuntary. It is cells are striated and muscle fibers are branched. Now, students, you can see the difference here. The striated muscles, they are not branched, okay? And there are many nuclei. However, here they are branched. You can see these branches here, okay? So this is the difference between the striated muscles and the cardiac muscles. The cardiac muscles, the shape is same like a striated muscle. However, it is branched. And the cardiac muscles, where are they present? They are present only and only in the heart and nowhere else. Okay, so let us see where is it present. The smooth muscles, they are present in the intestine. The cardiac muscles, they are present only in the heart. And the striated muscles, they are present in the arms, they are present in the legs. Okay, and lastly, we move on to the last part, and it's also one of the most important parts of your body, important tissue, which is called as neural nervous tissue. Now, students, in the neural nervous tissue, you feel a sensation of touch. You are able to sense, you're able to gauge the environment. Why is it so? It's all because of the neural tissue. This neural tissue is made up of neuron. It is the functional unit of the nervous tissue. This is how a neuron looks like. Okay. Now I'm going through the parts of the neuron which you need to understand. Now, students, as compared to your earlier, knowledge, there is just one addition here. Earlier, we knew what is a dendrite. We knew what is a nucleus. We knew what is an axon, myelin, the Schwann cell, the node of Ranvier, and the axon terminal. But what is new here? The new part is a perikaryon or a cyton. What do you mean by a cyton? Now, students, this entire structure, right, the structure which is the dendrite, which is the nucleus, this entire body, it is called as the cyton. Okay. Now, what does a cyton have? A cyton consists of dendrites. It consists of the nucleus. Now we'll go to each and every function. What are the dendrites, students? The dendrites are the ones which will receive the impulse or which will receive the signal. The nucleus is the most important part of the neuron because the information is processed here. And when it is processed, it will go on, it will go on from here and it will end in the axon. Now, what will the axon terminal do? This axon terminal is attached to another neuron. That means the dendrites will receive, it will receive, the axons will pass on the message to another dendrite. Okay, so we receive the information to the dendrite. The information is processed in the nucleus. It will pass through the axon. Okay, now students, these are the protective cells. The Schwann cells, they are the protective cells. They are protecting the slender part, okay, from any damage. So that this slender part, the axon, does not get damaged. This is why the Schwann cells are present. It helps in protection. Now, the information will pass on to the axon terminal, and from here it will be passed on to the another dendrite. Okay. So what does this tissue consist of? The tissue constitutes the entire nervous system. It is made up of elongated cells called as neurons. And what is the function? It is concerned with responses and it is concerned with perception. Perception means you are able to understand things. Why are you able to understand? Now I'm saying something. You are able to, gauge something that yes, your teacher is saying something. Who is doing this? Because the messages are passed on by this neuron to your brain. Your brain is working, but for the brain to work, who has to work or who has to pass on the message? The neurons has to pass on the message. Only then your brain can gather the information, and then it will, it will help in understanding. So that is the function of the neurons or the neural tissue. So with this, students, we end the animal tissues. Now what I'll do is I'll unmute all of you so that you can uh, ask questions. Children, however, before I unmute all of you, one more instruction for you. Children, we'll be uploading the question and answers of the plant tissue and the animal tissue. Okay, we are not giving you any homework. We are not giving you any tests to be done. However, your homework is you will go through the question answers of the first chapter, the cells, question answers of the second chapter, which is the plant and the animal tissues. That is your homework. Okay, because you need to understand, students, we are falling short of time. Okay, so unless and until you put in the efforts, do one thing, students. After you finish your today's session, not only biology, you have some other lectures also. You finish that session, have your food, and then go through everything that I have told you about the animal tissues today. Because of this, what is going to happen? Whatever I have told you, everything will be registered inside your mind. Otherwise, what will happen, students? You just don't bother, then you move on, and on Wednesday I'm going to start with a new chapter. This will be past. Okay, you will forget it. I don't want you to do that. So your homework is be honest, go through that the textbook pictures that we have posted, go through that, and then go to the question and answers which will be uploaded on WebGen. Okay, go through that and then you will be thorough with the content. Okay, so this is your homework, students. We are not giving you any written work to be done. Only it has to be done from yourself. Be honest to yourself. Okay, now students, I'm unmuting all of you. You can ask me the questions.
Ma'am, can I ask?
One at a time. 1 minute.
Hello, ma'am.
See, anyone has
मेरा पेट भर गया.
Bhumi, you have any questions?
Let him eat full. They can eat full. I won't have.
Arya, any questions?
He'll have the whole.
Yeah, ma'am, I had a doubt.
I don't want.
Yes.
Ma'am, what do you mean by created?
What do you mean by
Created.
striated? children, Arya striated means I can't, the problem here is I need to annotate anything. I can't see this.
Ma'am, you can mute everyone and just unmute the person who has a doubt.
1 minute.
Oh.
It's going to take a lot of time, students, because if I do that,
Permanent.
children, please be disciplined.
Like a doggy.
Who's that? So students, striated means it has some lines in between. That is meaning of striation. One cell is differentiated from the other. Okay.
What do you mean by cyton? Like, what is the function of cyton?
Cyton is the dendrites and the cell body together is called as a cyton. Okay. Earlier,
A fluid.
no, it is that cell structure.
Like it's like cytoplasm.
No, see, this is a perikaryon or
Ladu.
the entire thing is called as a cyton. Okay.
So dendrite. So even the axon terminal is also called cyton.
Yes, the dendrite and the nucleus with the cell body, entire thing is called as a cyton.
So the whole neuron anatomy is called a cyton as well.
No. The neuron anatomy, the neuron, it also contains a neuron and the axon terminal. Okay. So in the cyton, the axon and the axon terminal is not included. Only the cell body and the dendrites are included.
Amma, can you go to the fibrous connective tissue slide? I want to take a pic of that.
Fibrous.
Ma'am.
Yeah, 1 minute. Huh? This is fibrous. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. Now,
Ma'am, ma'am,
yes, tell me. I can hear you.
ma'am, what is the function of a cartilage?
Cartilage. Now, students, cartilage will help in giving the structure, like the tip of the nose. Why is the tip of the nose like the tip? It is giving the external ears. It is actually giving the structure to it. Now, even in the trachea, students, there are these cartilage. Now, because of this cartilage, the trachea can remain distended. What do you mean by distended? It can, it can stand like how it is. If there are no cartilage, the trachea will collapse. And what happens if the trachea collapses? What will happen if the trachea collapses?
Ma'am, we will choke.
Okay. So this cartilage, it is giving it's like a supportive structure. It gives a structure to those particular organs.
And ma'am, one more doubt. Ma'am, what is can you repeat the function of a lymph? I didn't understand.
Function of a lymph. Now, children, the lymph, it has WBCs. Okay. It will not have RBCs. It will not have platelets. So along with the blood has WBC, so it will help in fighting of the infection. Similarly, the lymph also helps in fighting the infection. So students, whenever there is an infection or a microorganism which is very dangerous, it gets into your body, the lymphatic system and your blood, both of them together will help in getting rid of that microorganism. Okay.
Can you again go back to
Okay,
the
ma'am.
slide? I forgot to take a pic of it.
Thank you,
Can
ma'am.
again go back?
Arya, 1 minute. I'll just address the other queries. Anyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Tell me.
Ma'am, last year in the neuron cell, we had something called as a Nissel's granules.
Which one?
Nissel's neuron cell.
Huh?
We had something called as Nissel's granules. So, do we have to mark it this year or?
No. Then this is what you have to mark. And if you want, you can take a pic of this. This is what you have to mark. Okay?
Hey, you stupid. Give me the phone. I need a photo quick. Mom will change it.
Malay?
Arey!
Yes. Ask me. Malay, I can't hear you.
Stupid. दिमाग नहीं है.
Malay, I can't hear you.
I cancelled you.
Can you again go back to the slide?
Which slide?
The fibrous connective tissue. I forgot to take a pic
Yeah.
of it.
This one?
Yeah, ma'am. This one. Wait, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Like,
Not that.
as
Not
you
that.
told in the
This one.
Any more questions, children?
as you told in the start of the chapter that the cells continuously regenerate. Ma'am, so like,
Hmm.
when it, so like the cardiac muscles, as you told, they're continuously pumping. So like when they get time, if they get damaged, then how will they get time to regenerate? Because they're continuously working, right? Like all the time.
Huh?
Then how will they regenerate? Like if there's any damage to a cardiac muscle, then how will it heal itself?
Children, see the damage, if any, it happens in the cardiac muscles. The repair system, it is so quick to repair the damage, and this will happen only when you have a very healthy lifestyle. Okay, so if you're eating leafy vegetables, if everything is exercising, your cardiac muscles also will get a lot of oxygen. It will get in a lot of nutrition. So whenever there is a
Batman
damage,
what
there
is
no time.
after
uh, in situations like a cardiac arrest. How does that happen, students? That happens when there is a lot of there's a fat deposition inside the arteries, and that is not reversible. Why is it not reversible? Because it's just a lymph of fat that is being deposited, and that is leading to blockage of the blood which has to pass to the heart. Otherwise, any other repair, any other damage, it gets repaired in no time. Okay.
Ma'am, are there
Thank you, ma'am.
muscles inside the bone?
Other muscles?
Are there muscles
No.
inside the bone?
Muscles are there outside the bone.
Not inside.
No.
Okay.
Any other questions, children?
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, so if the cells of the heart regenerate very fast, why can't other cells regenerate very fast?
Everything is regenerating, darling. Everything is regenerating fast.
I'm like, if you get a cut, then why doesn't it heal very fast? Like, why does it heal in 1 second or something?
For that, no, that because it depends on what organ is getting damaged. Heart is something which the healing system has to be fast. But if you have a cut on the skin, it's okay. The amount of blood which is getting lost, is you're losing is very less. It depends on what part of your body is getting damaged. Are you understanding that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Arya, you had a question, darling.
No, ma'am.
Yes, girl. Tell me. Yes.
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Yes.
Yeah, ma'am, if anyone gets a very small cut in the heart,
Cut in the
so heart, like a
Wow,
very
you
small
are
one.
dead.
Now, 1 minute. I think I will answer your question, but a cut in the heart is not going to happen.
Ma'am,
Dead.
like
Right.
if someone has stabbed, I'm just saying,
If
You're
someone
dead.
that cut is very deep, you're going to die.
ma'am, not very deep. It's like very small, like very, very small. So will it heal or you will die?
Dead.
See, if it is
Bye.
very small, there's a lot of blood that you're going to lose. So unless and until you are taken to the hospital at the right time, you're going to lose a lot of blood and it will lead to death.
Okay, thank you.
But it depends on where the cut is. Now, if it is on the oxygenated side, you will die instantly. If it is on the non-oxygenated, you can survive. Like,
Anywhere the cut is, you need to go to the hospital immediately. Right? Yes.
Ma'am, is there any function of the deoxygenated blood in the body?
Any function, there's no function of deoxygenated blood. The only thing that it has to do is it has to go again back to the heart for getting oxygenated via the lungs. Now, Panini, I can hear you that you have see that you have raised your hand. Ask me a question, darling. Yes. I can't hear you. I can hear you. Charvi, Ashwini, Swara, Tanay.
Can we call the axon terminals like terminal branches?
Yeah. Tanay and Shreyas. 1 minute, Arya. Shreyas and Tanay, can you ask me a question?
Yo, ma'am, I don't have any doubt anymore.
Okay. Who is this? Jyoti. Jyoti, ask me a question, darling. Where's Jyoti? Okay. No questions. Any questions?
Can we call the axon terminals terminal branches? Yeah, I'm sorry, not that, ma'am. What's the function of soma?
It's the cytoplasm of the cell body.
Oh, no, soma. Soma is a cytoplasm.
Yes, it's like a cytoplasm, like how your cell has a cytoplasm. That's a cytoplasm.
Will you post this PPT on WebGenie as well?
You want it?
Yeah, ma'am.
Because children, if you want it, then I can ask my ask our coordinator, the party ma'am, to get it posted. If you want, most of you want it, and I'll ask her to get it posted. Okay, I'll try it, definitely. Jyoti, you had a question, darling? Any other questions, students? So should I expect that you have understood everything? Samidha, you had a question?
What's the function of myelin sheath?
Yes, ma'am.
Function of the
Myelin sheath.
Ma'am.
function of the myelin sheath. See, students, it is just like now. It helps in the better, more, faster transmission of the message. Like the message comes from the dendrite, it gets processed in the nucleus, then it moves through this axon. Now the myelin sheath will help in the faster transfer of messages from the dendrite through the axon. That is the only function.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask,
Uh,
is the connective tissue same as the connective tissue proper?
is the connective tissue? Where is it? 1 minute. We'll get to it. Which connective tissue are you talking about, darling? See, I'll tell you. There is first is the connective tissue. This connective tissue is made up of 3 types. This is connective tissue proper, supportive tissue, and the fluid tissue. So connective tissue proper is a part of the connective tissue. This is what you have to understand.
Okay.
How the blood and lymph and cartilage and bone connect the body,
How the blood,
and like lymph and all those kind of tissues,
Now,
cardiac, cartilage and bone.
just imagine if there is no cartilage or if there is no bone, what do bones form? The bones form the skeletal system, right?
Yeah.
Right? So just imagine if there's no skeletal system, you are just a limb, you're a lump of flesh, you're a lump of meat and nothing else. So unless and until there are bones, your various organs, they will be disorganized. They will be anywhere inside your body, which is not supposed to happen. It should not happen in that way. So all of these tissues, they have a different role inside your body. Each and every tissue, each and every cell inside your body has a particular function.
So the connective tissue because they connect each other.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Now, students, I think our time is up. Just one more instruction. Just go through the notes. I'm not giving you anything to write. Understand the chapter. Okay. Yes, children. So should we end the meeting?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. Thank you so much, children, for being very, 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 very disciplined today. Thank you so much. And students, in the next lecture, we are going to start with the new chapter, Flower. I will be posting that chapter maybe today so that you can go through it. On Wednesday, we'll start with it. Okay.